The elevator smells like expensive perfume and bad decisions. I'm pressed against the mirrored wall, watching my reflection blur as the numbers climb. 42, 43, 44. My best friend Cassie is practically dancing beside me, her sequined dress catching the harsh fluorescent light, while I'm standing here in jeans and a sweater that's seen better days, wondering how I let her drag me to the penthouse party of Boston's most eligible bachelor. Correction, Boston's most dangerous eligible bachelor. "Stop fidgeting," Cassie hisses, adjusting my hair for the third time. "You look amazing." I don't feel amazing. I feel like I'm about to walk into a lion's den wearing a meat dress. The elevator dings, 52nd floor. The doors slide open, and I'm hit with a wall of sound, music, laughter, the clink of expensive glasses. The penthouse sprawls before us like something out of a magazine I can't afford. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcase Boston's glittering skyline, and the space is packed with people who look like they were born knowing how to hold champagne flutes correctly. "Breathe, Mira," Cassie whispers, looping her arm through mine. "It's just a party." Just a party. Right. Except this isn't just any party. This is his party. Theron Kai, the man who owns half of Boston's real estate and probably the other half of things I don't want to know about. The man whose restaurants I can't afford to eat at, whose clubs have lines around the block, whose name makes my boss at the law firm go pale whenever it comes up in conversation. The man I've been researching for the past 6 months. "Mira, come on!" Cassie tugs me forward, and suddenly we're swallowed by the crowd. Beautiful people everywhere, models, businessmen, women whose jewelry probably costs more than my yearly rent. I catch snippets of conversation in multiple languages. Russian, Italian, Mandarin. This is a mistake. I should leave. Ladies. A server appears with a tray of champagne, his smile practiced and perfect. "Compliments of Mr. Kai." Cassie grabs 2 glasses, pressing one into my hand. "See? Fancy." I take a sip because I don't know what else to do. The champagne is cold, crisp, probably costs more per glass than my phone bill. It goes down too easily. "I need to find the bathroom," I say, already scanning for an escape route. "The bathroom? We just got here." "I'll be right back, I promise." Before Cassie can protest, I slip away into the crowd, clutching my champagne like a lifeline. The penthouse is enormous. Every corner reveals another room, another cluster of intimidatingly attractive people. I pass a room with a pool table where men in expensive suits are laughing too loudly. Another room with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves that makes my heart ache because I know I'll never have time to explore them. I find a bathroom down a quieter hallway, and I practically throw myself inside, locking the door behind me. Okay. I set the champagne on the marble counter and stare at myself in the mirror. My reflection looks terrified, brown eyes too wide, dark hair falling out of whatever style Cassie attempted. Freckles that no amount of makeup can hide standing out across my nose like accusations. What am I doing here? 6 months ago, I was assigned to a case at the firm, a real estate acquisition that should have been routine. Except it involved Theron Kai, and nothing involving Theron Kai is ever routine. I've read every file, every report, every whispered rumor that my senior partners won't say out loud but put in the notes anyway. On paper, he's legitimate. Tech investments, property development, venture capital, but I've seen the patterns, the shell corporations, the money moving in ways that don't make sense unless you're looking for it, the associates who disappear from public records, the restaurants that never seem to close despite having no customers. I splash water on my face, careful not to ruin the mascara Cassie spent 20 minutes applying. This is research. That's what I told myself when Cassie said she had an invite to his party through her boyfriend's cousin's friend or whatever convoluted connection she'd made. This is an opportunity to see him in person, to maybe overhear something useful for the case. It's definitely not because I've stared at his photo in our case files so many times that I've memorized the exact shade of gray in his eyes. Professional interest, that's all. I down the rest of the champagne, straighten my sweater, and open the bathroom door, and nearly collide with a wall of solid muscle. "Sorry, The words die in my throat, because standing in the hallway, blocking my path with the kind of presence that makes the air feel thinner, is Theron Kai himself. He's taller than I expected, broader. The photos in our files don't capture the way he takes up space, the way his dark hair is slightly too long, brushing the collar of his black shirt. His jaw is sharp enough to cut glass. His eyes, those gray eyes I've studied in photographs, are locked on mine with an intensity that makes my stomach flip. "You're in the wrong hallway," he says, and his voice is different than I imagined. Lower, quieter, like he doesn't need to raise it to be heard. I gesture vaguely toward the bathroom. "Looking for—" "I know what you were looking for." He doesn't move, doesn't step aside. "The question is what you're doing in my private wing." My private wing. Oh, God. "I didn't know," I say quickly. "I'm sorry, I try to step around him, but he shifts slightly, not touching me but definitely not letting me pass either. Up close I can smell him, something expensive and cedar-like, with an edge of smoke. "I know every person I invited tonight," he says, those gray eyes never leaving mine. "You're not on my list." My heart is hammering so hard, I'm sure he can hear it. "I came with a friend, Cassie Morrison. She's the event planner's assistant." "Yes." He tilts his head slightly, studying me like I'm a puzzle he's deciding whether to solve or discard. "And you are?" This is the moment. The smart thing would be to lie, to give him a fake name and disappear into the crowd and never come back. But something about the way he's looking at me makes lying feel impossible. "Mira," I say. "Mira Chen." He doesn't react, but I see something flicker in those gray eyes. Recognition? Suspicion? "Mira Chen," he repeats, like he's testing how my name sounds. "The junior associate at Morrison and Hale." My blood turns to ice. He knows who I am. He knows where I work. He knows how. "I make it my business to know who's investigating me," he says simply. "You've been requesting files on my acquisitions for months. Very thorough work, by the way. Your partners don't appreciate you enough." I can't breathe, can't think. Every instinct is screaming at me to run, but my feet feel welded to the floor. "I'm not—" I start, but he raises one eyebrow and the lie crumbles on my tongue. "Don't." His voice drops even lower. "I respect competence. I don't respect lying." We stare at each other. The party noise feels very far away. It's just us in this hallway. The lawyer who's been building a case against him and the man who apparently knows every detail of what she's been doing. This is the part where he threatens me, where he makes some veiled comment about what happens to people who dig too deep, where I realize I've made a catastrophic mistake. Instead, he says, "Are you hungry?" I blink. "What?" "Hungry," he repeats. The catering at these things is always for show. No one actually eats it. He finally steps aside, gesturing down the hallway. "I was about to order real food. Join me." I shake my head. "That's not a good idea." "Probably not," he agrees. "But you're here, in my home, investigating me." Something that might be amusement crosses his face. "The least you can do is let me feed you while you decide how threatened you should be." This is insane. I should leave. I should find Cassie and get out of here and maybe change my name and move to a different state. But there's something in his eyes that isn't threatening, something that looks almost like curiosity. "Thai or Italian?" he asks. And God help me, I hear myself say, "Thai." The kitchen is ridiculous. Professional-grade everything, marble countertops, a wine fridge that probably costs more than my car. Theron moves through the space like he actually uses it, which surprises me. I expected someone with his money to have a private chef on call 24/7. "Sit," he says, nodding toward the bar stools at the island. I sit because my legs don't feel entirely stable. He pulls out his phone, typing quickly. "Spice preference? Medium? Honest." He glances up, and there's definitely amusement in his eyes now. Most people say mild and regret it. "I can handle heat," I say before I can stop myself. Something shifts in his expression, something that makes my skin feel too warm. I'm sure you can, he murmurs, going back to his phone. The silence stretches. I can hear the party in the distance, muffled laughter and music. But here, in this gleaming kitchen, it's just the two of us and the weight of everything unspoken. Why did you really come tonight, Mira? The question is quiet, but it lands like a challenge. I could lie, should lie, but he already knows, doesn't he? Research, I admit. I wanted to see. I don't know what I wanted to see. If I have horns and a tail, there's dark humor in his voice. Something like that. He sets his phone down, leaning against the counter across from me. And? What's your assessment? I meet his eyes. You're more dangerous than I thought. Why? Because you're not what I expected. The champagne must be hitting my bloodstream because I can't seem to stop talking. I expected someone cold, ruthless, someone who'd throw me out or make threats. But you're not that. You don't know what I am, he says softly. No, I agree, but I know what you're not. His jaw tightens. For a long moment he just looks at me, and I feel like he's reading every thought I've ever had, every secret I've ever kept. Food will be here in 20 minutes, he says finally. You can leave now if you want, go back to the party, pretend this didn't happen. It's an out, a clean escape. I should take it. Or, I hear myself ask, his eyes lock on mine. Or you can stay, have dinner with me, ask me whatever questions you've been building for 6 months. Why would you answer them? Maybe I'm tired of being investigated from a distance, he says. Maybe I want to know who's been digging into my life. He pauses. Maybe I liked the way you said my name when you didn't know I was listening. My breath catches. What? Last month, conference room 4B at Morrison and Hale, you were on the phone with someone from City Records. His voice is low, intimate. You said my name 7 times. I counted. You were at my firm? Meeting with your senior partner. Your office has glass walls, Mira. I noticed you the first time, the second time. By the third time, I started to wonder why you looked at me like you were trying to solve an equation. This can't be happening. This entire conversation feels like I've stepped into an alternate reality. You're trying to unsettle me, I say. Is it working? Yes. He smiles then, really smiles, and it transforms his entire face, makes him look younger, more human, more dangerous in an entirely different way. Good, he says. I'd hate to be the only one off balance tonight. Before I can process that, his phone buzzes. He glances at it, frowns slightly. Problem? I ask. Nothing important. But the way his jaw tightens tells me it's a lie. I should let it go. Should keep my mouth shut and wait for the food and figure out how to escape this situation with my dignity intact. Instead, I say, you don't have to pretend with me. His eyes snap to mine. Excuse me? I've been studying you for 6 months. I know when you're lying. I don't know where this courage is coming from, probably the champagne and the surreal nature of this entire night, but I keep going. Someone just sent you something that bothered you, probably someone from your other business interests. The temperature in the kitchen drops about 10 degrees. Careful, he says, and now there's steel in his voice. Why? You already know I'm investigating you. You could have thrown me out 5 minutes ago, but you didn't. You invited me to stay for dinner. I tilt my head, studying him. Why? He's silent for a long moment. Then he pushes off the counter, moving around the island toward me. Every instinct screams to back away, but I force myself to stay still as he stops just in front of my bar stool, close enough that I have to tilt my head back to maintain eye contact. You want to know why? His voice is quiet, dangerous. Because for 6 months I've watched you. Watched you work late in that office, watched you argue with your partners about ethics, watched you turn down shortcuts that would have made your job easier. He braces his hands on either side of my stool, caging me in. And I've been wondering what it would be like to have someone like you in my life. Someone who looks at me like I'm a problem to solve instead of a bank account to access. My heart is hammering against my ribs. I can smell his cologne, feel the heat radiating from his body. I swallow hard. That's not possible. Why not? Because I gesture helplessly. You're you, and You're brilliant, he interrupts, and honest, and sitting in my kitchen wearing a sweater with a coffee stain on the cuff, looking at me like you can't decide if you want to run or stay. I glance down. There is indeed a coffee stain on my cuff. I'd forgotten about that. I should leave, I whisper. Yes, he agrees. You should. Neither of us moves. His eyes drop to my mouth and I stop breathing entirely. This is insane. His phone rings. Not a buzz. A full, sharp ring that shatters the moment. Theron closes his eyes briefly, jaw clenching, then steps back and answers it. What? His tone is pure ice. I can't hear the other side, but I watch his expression shift, from irritation to something darker, more focused. When? Pause. No, I'll handle it. 20 minutes. He ends the call without saying goodbye, and when he looks at me, the man from 30 seconds ago is gone. This is the other Theron Kai, the one from the files. You need to leave, he says, no trace of warmth in his voice. What happened? Nothing you need to worry about. I'll have someone escort you out. Theron, now, Mira. The way he says my name sends a chill down my spine. This is the man people are afraid of. This is the man who makes problems disappear. I slide off the stool, grabbing my purse. I'm going. He's already texting someone, not looking at me anymore. Professional. Distant. I'm halfway to the kitchen door when his voice stops me. Mira. I turn. He's still looking at his phone, but his jaw is tight. Delete my number when you get home. I don't have your number. You will, he says, in about 30 seconds. Don't use it. My phone buzzes in my purse. I should ask why. Should demand to know what just happened, what changed. Instead, I leave. 2 weeks later, I'm standing in the rain at 2 a.m., drunk off wine that was too cheap and emotions that are too complicated, and I do the stupidest thing I've ever done. I text him. Me. Come pick me. I stare at the message for approximately 3 seconds before the panic sets in. Oh God. Oh no. What did I frantically try to unsend it, but of course that's not how texts work. My phone might as well be laughing at me. No, I mutter, typing frantically. Me. Sorry, wrong person. Me. Ignore that. Me. I didn't mean to. Me. Please forget that happened. The dots appear, disappear, appear again. My heart is trying to escape my chest. Theron. Address. I stare at the single word like it's written in a foreign language. Me. What? Theron. Your address. Send it now. Me. No, I'm fine, I was just... Theron. Mira. Address. My wine-soaked brain knows this is a bad idea, knows I should just call an Uber and go home and pretend this never happened, but my wine-soaked fingers are already typing my address. Theron. Stay where you are, don't get in any cars. Don't talk to anyone. I'm 12 minutes away. 12 minutes. He's 12 minutes away at 2 a.m. on a Thursday night, which means he wasn't sleeping, which means... I don't get to finish that thought because my phone rings. Hello? Where exactly are you? His voice is clipped, tense. Outside a bar in Cambridge. The Crimson something. I'm fine, really, you don't have to... Are you alone? My friends are inside. I just needed air. Stay on the phone with me. Theron, I'm literally fine. This is so dramatic. Someone spiked 3 drinks at that bar tonight, he interrupts. 2 women are in the hospital. So yes, Mira, I'm being dramatic. Stay on the phone. The wine haze evaporates instantly. How do you know that? Because I know everything that happens in my city. There's the sound of an engine, tires on wet pavement. Describe what you're wearing. What? So I can find you when I get there. What are you wearing? Black jeans, gray jacket, red scarf. Good, don't move. The next 10 minutes are the longest of my life. He keeps me talking, asking about my friends, about why I'm in Cambridge, about whether I feel dizzy or nauseous. His voice is steady, calming, and I realize he's keeping me alert, keeping me focused. "Do you think I was drugged?" I ask quietly. "Were you watching your drink all night?" Not all night. Then we check, better safe than sorry. Headlights sweep across the street. A black SUV pulls up to the curb with the kind of smooth precision that speaks of expensive machinery and drivers who know how to use it. Theron exits the driver's side, and even through my wine-addled vision, he's overwhelming. Dark jeans, black jacket, his hair slightly disheveled like he got dressed in a hurry. His eyes find me immediately. "Hi," I say weakly. He stops in front of me, close enough that I can see the tension in his jaw, the concern in his eyes. "Are you hurt?" His hands hover near my shoulders, not touching but clearly wanting to. "No, I'm just drunk and stupid, and I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to text you. Breathe," he orders softly. "Did you drink anything from an open container? Anything that left your sight?" I try to remember through the wine fog. "No, we ordered bottles, shared them at the table." "All night?" "Yes." Some of the tension leaves his shoulders. "Good. That's good." "I really am fine," I insist. "I can just get an Uber." "You texted me," he says quietly, "which means some part of you, drunk or not, wanted me to come." I don't have an answer for that. He seems to take my silence as permission. "Come on, let's get you home." The SUV is warm and smells like leather. I sink into the passenger seat while Theron circles around to the driver's side. The moment he's in, he cranks up the heat. "Seatbelt," he says. I fumble with it. My fingers aren't cooperating. Without a word, he reaches over, his hand brushing mine as he clicks the belt into place. The touch is brief, impersonal, but it sends electricity shooting up my arm. "Where are your friends?" he asks, pulling away from the curb. "Inside. I told them I was getting air." "You need to text them. Tell them you got a safe ride home." I pull out my phone, typing slowly. My motor skills are definitely impaired. Not dangerously, but enough that I'm grateful I'm not driving. Me. Got a ride with a friend. Home safe. Text when you're home too. Cassie responds immediately with a string of worried emojis and demands to know who this friend is. "My friend wants to know who you are," I say, staring at my phone. "What did you tell her about me?" "Nothing. She doesn't know about the case, or that I met you." I can feel him glance at me. "Why not?" "Because it sounds insane." I rest my head against the window, watching Boston's lights blur past. Because I'm a junior associate investigating a possible organized crime figure, and somehow I ended up having almost dinner with him. Because I don't even understand what's happening. "Welcome to the club," he mutters. "You're supposed to be the dangerous one," I say. "You're supposed to have all the answers." "I'm dangerous," he confirms, "but I don't have answers for this." "This?" He's quiet for a long moment. "You..." The word hangs in the air between us, heavy with implication. "I deleted your number," I tell him. "Like you said." "No, you didn't." "How do you know?" "Because you texted me tonight." Damn, he's right. "I was going to," I amend, "eventually." "Why didn't you?" It's a fair question, one I've asked myself approximately 700 times over the past 2 weeks. "I don't know," I admit. "Maybe because everyone else sees you as a file, a case, a problem." I turn to look at him. His profile is sharp in the dashboard lights, focused on the road. But when I see you, I see someone who knew exactly how many times I said his name. Someone who noticed a coffee stain. Someone who's driving across the city at 2 a.m. because someone texted, "Come pick me." His hands tighten on the steering wheel. "That's not who I am." "Isn't it?" "You don't know what I've done, Mira, what I'm capable of." "You're right," I say. "I don't, but I know you fed information to a rival firm last month that exposed a sex trafficking ring. I know you anonymously donated to 3 women's shelters. I know you pay your restaurant staff double minimum wage with full benefits." He shoots me a look. You've been thorough. It's my job. Your job is to find evidence that I'm a criminal. And instead, I keep finding evidence that you're not. We pull up to my apartment building, a modest brick structure in Alston that's seen better decades. Theron puts the SUV in park but doesn't kill the engine. "This is me," I say unnecessarily. He studies the building with an expression I can't read. "Security? There's a lock on the front door?" His jaw tightens. "That's it?" "It's Boston, not Gotham. I'm fine." "You're fine," he repeats flatly, "in a building with minimal security in a neighborhood with 3 assault reports in the last month. How do you even know that?" "Because I know everything about you, Mira. I know you live alone. I know your landlord is 8 months behind on building maintenance. I know you walk home from the T-stop at midnight twice a week after late shifts." His voice drops. "And I know that I'm the biggest threat you've ever let get this close." The truth of that statement settles between us. "Are you?" I ask quietly. "A threat?" He turns to face me fully, and the intensity in his gray eyes steals my breath. "Yes." "To my safety?" "No, never that." "Then to what?" His gaze drops to my mouth, then back up. "To every carefully built wall you've constructed, every rule you've followed, every safe choice you've made." My heart is hammering. "You're really arrogant, you know that?" "It's not arrogance if it's true." I should get out of the car, should thank him for the ride and go inside and never speak to him again. Instead, I hear myself say, "Do you want to come up?" His expression shifts. Surprise, heat, conflict. "That's a bad idea," he says. "I know." "You've been drinking." "I'm drunk, not incapacitated. I know what I'm asking." "Do you?" His voice is rough. "Because I've spent 2 weeks trying to forget the way you looked at me in my kitchen. 2 weeks trying to convince myself that what I want is impossible. And if I come up to your apartment right now, I'm not going to be able to keep pretending." "Good," I whisper. "Stop pretending." For a long moment, he doesn't move. Then he kills the engine. My apartment is a disaster. I see it through his eyes as I fumble with the keys, case files spread across my coffee table, takeout containers on the kitchen counter, my laundry basket overflowing in the corner. This is what happens when you work 70-hour weeks and forget what a personal life looks like. "Sorry for the mess," I mutter, kicking off my shoes. Theron doesn't respond. He's standing in my tiny living room, looking like he was photoshopped into the space. Too big, too polished, too everything. His gaze lands on the coffee table, on the files, my files. About him. Oh, God. I can explain. "Don't." He moves closer, looking down at the scattered papers. I can see his name on half of them. Property acquisitions, financial records, associates. "This is what you do every night?" "Part of my job, yes." He picks up one page. It's a grainy photo of him leaving a restaurant taken from across the street. Some of my own surveillance notes are scribbled in the margins. "This is from last Tuesday." He says quietly, "I know. You followed me. I was establishing patterns. You followed me to dinner with my mother." He sets the photo down, and when he looks at me, there's something raw in his expression. "You watched me bring her flowers, watched me hold the door, watched me drive her home. I'm sorry." "Don't be sorry." He moves closer, and I'm suddenly very aware of how small my apartment is. "Be honest. What did you think when you saw that?" I swallow hard. "I thought you were gentler than I expected. More careful. The way you helped her into the car, it was human." "Yes. I am human, Mira. Everything I do, the good and the bad, it's all human." He's so close now I can feel the heat radiating from him. "That's what makes it complicated." "I don't care," I whisper. "You should." "Why? Because you're dangerous? Because there are things in your world I don't understand?" I step closer, closing the distance between us. I'm a lawyer investigating organized crime. I'm not naive. I know what I'm getting into. "No," he says quietly. "You really don't." His hand comes up, fingertips brushing my jaw so softly, I almost think I imagined it. but the way my skin ignites proves it's real. I've thought about you every day for 2 weeks, he admits. Every night. I've imagined what it would be like to have you in my life. Really in my life. Not investigating, not watching from a distance, just here. I am here. For tonight. Because you're drunk and lonely and I was available. That's not... I grab his jacket, pulling him closer. That's not why I texted you. Then why? Because I'm tired of pretending I don't think about you, too. The confession tumbles out. Because I've been watching you for 6 months, and somewhere along the way I stopped looking for evidence and started looking for you. The real you. And I know that's insane and unprofessional and probably a fireable offense, but... He kisses me. No warning. No hesitation. Just his mouth on mine, firm and certain, swallowing whatever else I was about to say. I freeze for approximately half a second before my brain catches up and I kiss him back. His hands cup my face, angling my head to deepen the kiss. He tastes like mint and something darker, more intoxicating than any wine. One hand slides into my hair while the other spans my lower back, pulling me flush against him. I make a sound that should be embarrassing, but he responds with a rough noise of approval, walking me backward until my shoulders hit the wall. We shouldn't, he murmurs against my mouth. I know. This is a bad idea. I know. I'm going to ruin you for anyone else. Promise? He groans, and then he's kissing me again, harder this time. More demanding. His hands are everywhere. My waist, my hips. Sliding under my jacket to find bare skin at my sides. I arch into him, fingers tangling in his hair. It's softer than I expected. Everything about him is a contradiction. Hard exterior, gentle touches, dangerous reputation, careful hands. Bedroom, I gasp when he moves to my neck. He pulls back slightly, his eyes searching mine. You're drunk. I'm sober enough to know what I want. Which is? You. Here. Now. Something feral crosses his expression. Say it again. I want you, Theron. He lifts me effortlessly, my legs wrapping around his waist as he carries me toward the bedroom. I'm kissing his jaw, his neck, anywhere I can reach, and he's making these low sounds that make me feel powerful despite being utterly at his mercy. He sets me down at the edge of the bed, kneeling between my legs. Look at me, he orders softly. I do. If we do this, you're mine, he says, and there's no compromise in his voice. Not for tonight. Not until the case is over. Mine. What does that mean? It means I know where you live. I know where you work. I know your routines, your patterns, your vulnerabilities. His hands slide up my thighs. And I'm going to protect all of them, whether you want me to or not. That's incredibly controlling. Yes, and possessive. Yes, and probably illegal on some level. Almost definitely. I should be running, should be pushing him away and calling someone, anyone. Instead, I lean forward and kiss him again. Yours, I whisper against his lips. The sound he makes is pure satisfaction. I wake up to sunlight streaming through my bedroom window and the realization that I am completely, utterly naked. The memories come flooding back. Theron's hands on my skin, his mouth everywhere, the way he'd been both gentle and demanding in turns, the way he'd made me say his name over and over until it was the only word I remembered. Oh, God. I turn my head slowly. He's still here. Theron is in my bed, propped up on one elbow, watching me with an expression I can't read. He's shirtless, his skin golden in the morning light, and there are more tattoos than I'd expected, intricate patterns across his chest and down his left arm. Morning, he says, voice still rough from sleep. Hi. My voice comes out as a squeak. How are you feeling? Mortified? His lips twitch. Why? Because I drunk texted you and then basically jumped you and... I pull the sheet up higher. This is so unprofessional. Probably the least professional thing either of us has done, he agrees. Want me to leave? I should say yes. should absolutely, definitely say yes. No, I whisper. He leans down, kissing me softly. It's different from last night, slower, more deliberate. When he pulls back, his thumb brushes my cheek. I need to make some calls, he says, but I'll make breakfast first. You cook? I'm Greek. It's genetic. I watch him climb out of bed, completely unself-conscious in his nakedness, and pull on his jeans. The tattoos continue down his back, more patterns and what might be names in another alphabet. Theron? He turns, still shirtless and unfairly attractive. What happens now? I ask. He's quiet for a moment. That depends on you. On me? You're investigating me. You have a case to build. He pulls on his shirt. I'm not going to ask you to stop doing your job. But I'm also not going to stop protecting you or wanting you. He comes back to the bed, leaning down to brace his hands on either side of me. So you need to decide what you can live with. And if I can't decide, then I'll decide for you. His smile is dark. And you won't like my methods. He kisses me once more, then heads for the kitchen. I lie there for a long moment, staring at the ceiling, trying to process what just happened. I slept with the subject of my investigation. I slept with a man who might be involved in organized crime. I slept with someone who just threatened, promised, to make decisions for me. This is a disaster. This is... My phone buzzes. I grab it from the nightstand. Cassie. Bitch, where are you? Cassie, you said you got a safe ride, but you're not answering. Cassie, if you don't text me back in 5 minutes, I'm calling the police. Me? I'm fine. Sorry. Safe at home. Long story. Cassie, what long story? Cassie, did you meet someone? Me? Maybe. I'll call you later. Cassie, Mira Chen, you better call me. I set the phone down and the smell of cooking eggs drifts from the kitchen. Real cooking. Not my usual burned toast and instant coffee. I find one of his shirts on the floor, expensive, soft fabric, and pull it on. It falls to mid-thigh. I catch my reflection in the mirror and barely recognize myself. Messy hair, kiss-swollen lips, wearing a man's shirt in the morning light. I look happy. When did I last look happy? In the kitchen, Theron has somehow made magic happen with my pathetic grocery situation. There are eggs, toast, what looks like actual vegetables, and coffee that smells like it came from a cafe instead of my ancient coffee maker. How did you... I gesture at the spread. I had some things delivered while you were sleeping. You had groceries delivered? At 7 a.m.? He gives me a look that says this is apparently a normal thing for him. You had expired milk and half a lemon. That's not food. I eat at work mostly. You don't eat enough. He slides a plate toward me. Sit. I should probably be offended by the command, but I'm too distracted by the fact that the eggs are perfectly fluffy. This is good, I say after the first bite. My grandmother would be insulted. You sound surprised. Your grandmother taught you to cook? Someone had to. He pours coffee into 2 mugs. My mother tried, but she tends to set things on fire. It's such a normal statement, such a human moment. I keep forgetting he has a mother, a grandmother, a life beyond the files. Tell me about them, I say. He pauses, mug halfway to his lips. Why? Because I've read everything I could find about your business dealings, but I don't know anything about your family. Your real family. That's intentional. I know, but I'm not asking as a lawyer right now. No? He sets down his mug. What are you asking as? As someone who woke up in your arms. The words hang between us, heavier than they should be. My mother is a retired teacher, he says finally. She taught 5th grade for 30 years. My grandmother came from Greece in the 60s with nothing but a suitcase and determination. She still doesn't speak English properly, even though she understands every word. A slight smile. She pretends not to when it's convenient. And your father? His expression shudders. Dead. 15 years ago. I'm sorry. Don't be, he wasn't a good man. The way he says it tells me there are volumes of story there. Volumes I'm not entitled to. Yet. Is that why you do what you do? I ask carefully. His eyes meet mine. What do you think I do, Mira? It's a test. We both know it. I think you exist in the gray areas, I say slowly. I think you operate businesses that are technically legal but morally questionable. I think you have connections to people who are definitely not legal. And I think... I pause. I think you use all of that to help people sometimes, in ways the legal system can't or won't. He's silent for a long moment. That's a very diplomatic assessment. But am I wrong? No. He stands, moving to the window. My father was part of the Greek Mafia, not a boss, just muscle. He did terrible things for terrible people, and when he tried to get out, they killed him. His back is to me, rigid. I inherited his debts, his obligations, his enemies. Oh God. I was 19, he continues. I could either run or I could fight. So I fought. I learned the rules of that world, and then I broke every single one of them on my own terms. He turns to face me. I built something different, something that operates in the shadows but doesn't prey on the weak. And yes, sometimes I do things your law books would condemn, but I sleep fine at night. Because you're helping people? Because I'm protecting people. His jaw tightens. The people the law forgets. The ones who fall through the cracks. The ones who need someone willing to break rules to keep them safe. It should sound like justification, like rationalization, but I've seen the evidence. The women's shelters, the trafficking ring he exposed, the way he pays his employees. Your partners want me convicted of racketeering, he says. They want to seize my assets, freeze my accounts, put me away for decades, and maybe legally they have grounds. But if they do that, 36 families lose their homes because I won't be able to maintain their rent protection. 5 restaurants close and 200 people are unemployed. The shelter on Huntington Avenue loses its funding. And the trafficking ring we just exposed. Half those girls were found because of my network. I set down my fork, my appetite gone. This isn't fair, I whisper. What isn't? Making me choose between my career and what's right. He crosses back to me, tilting my chin up with one finger. I'm not making you choose anything. Do your job, Mira. Build your case. Present your evidence. His thumb brushes my lower lip. But know that whatever you decide, I'm not letting you go. You can't just decide that. Watch me. His phone rings. He ignores it. It rings again. With a muttered curse in what might be Greek, he answers. What? I watch his expression shift, from irritation to sharp focus. When? Pause. No, I'm busy. Send Alexi. Another pause and his eyes flick to me. Fine, 20 minutes. He ends the call. You have to go, I say. It's not a question. Yes. Something bad? Something that needs handling. He leans down, kissing me hard and fast. Lock your door. Don't open it for anyone. Theron, promise me. The intensity in his voice makes me nod. I promise. He heads for the door, then stops. I'm having someone watch your building. Excuse me? For your safety. You won't see them, but they'll be there. That's non-negotiable. He's out the door before I can argue. I sit in my kitchen wearing his shirt, eating the breakfast he made, trying to process what my life has become in the last 12 hours. My phone buzzes. Theron, keep the shirt. Looks better on you anyway. Despite everything, the complexity, the danger, the impossibility of this situation, I smile. 3 days later, the conference room at Morrison & Hale is cold, sterile, and currently filled with people who want to destroy the man I can't stop thinking about. The evidence is comprehensive, my senior partner, Richard Morrison, says, spreading documents across the table. Financial records, witness testimonies, surveillance photos. We have everything we need to recommend prosecution. I stare at the files. My files. 6 months of work spread out like accusations. Mira? Richard looks at me. You've been leading this investigation. What's your assessment? What's my assessment? My assessment is that I've seen Theron with his mother. I've watched him feed me breakfast. I've felt him whisper my name in the dark like a prayer. My assessment is that the law is black and white, but people are shades of gray. I clear my throat. I think we need more time. Richard frowns. More time? We have evidence of questionable business practices, I interrupt, but nothing that definitively proves criminal intent. Any decent defense attorney would tear apart half of what we have. Since when do you care about the defense's job? Since I started sleeping with the defendant. Since I started wanting to win, I lie. If we move forward now, we lose. We need more. Richard studies me for a long moment. You've been acting strange lately. Is there something you need to tell me? Yes, there are about 1,000 things I need to tell you, starting with the massive conflict of interest currently sleeping in my bed 3 nights a week. I'm just being thorough, I say instead. Fine. You have 2 more weeks. But Mira? His expression hardens. Don't make me regret trusting you with this. I make it to the bathroom before I throw up. This is unsustainable. I can't keep lying to my firm, can't keep seeing Theron while building a case against him, can't keep pretending this isn't going to end in disaster. My phone buzzes. Theron. Dinner tonight? I'm cooking. Me. I can't. Working late. Theron. No, you're not. Your calendar says you're free after 5. Me. Stop hacking my calendar. Theron. Stop lying to me. Me. This is complicated. Theron. I know. Dinner anyway? I should say no. Should put distance between us before this situation implodes. Me. 7 p.m.? Theron. I'll pick you up at 6:30. Wear something nice. Something nice apparently means his idea of nice, because when I answer the door at 6:30, he's standing there in a full suit looking like he stepped out of a magazine, and he takes one look at my work clothes and shakes his head. Change, he orders. Excuse me? We're going somewhere special. You're not wearing that. I happen to like this outfit. He steps inside, closes the door, and backs me against it. Mira, I love that you're stubborn. I love that you challenge me. But tonight, I need you to trust me. Please. The please does it. 20 minutes later, I'm wearing the only dress I own that could possibly qualify as fancy, a navy blue thing I bought for my law school graduation and haven't worn since. Theron looks at me like I've just solved every problem he's ever had. Perfect, he murmurs. Where are we going? You'll see. The restaurant is tucked away in the north end, the kind of place that doesn't have a sign and doesn't take reservations unless you know the owner, which apparently Theron does. Mr. Kai, the host greets him in Italian-accented English. Your table is ready. We're led to a private room in the back, intimate, romantic, dangerous. You own this place, I say, once we're alone. I own a lot of places. Theron. He sighs. Yes, I own it. But I also genuinely like the food, so don't read too much into it. A server appears with wine, expensive, red, already opened and breathing. I didn't order yet, Theron says. The chef is preparing something special, the server replies with a knowing smile. When we're alone again, Theron reaches across the table, taking my hand. You looked stressed today, he says. How do you know? You weren't there. I have people who watch out for you. You mean people who spy on me? I prefer protective surveillance. I should pull my hand away, should be angry about the invasion of privacy. Instead, I link my fingers with his. Richard is pushing for prosecution, I say quietly. Theron's jaw tightens, but he nods. I expected that. I bought us 2 weeks. Why? Because... I meet his eyes. Because I'm trying to figure out how to be honest with everyone, including myself. And what have you figured out? That I can't keep lying to my firm. That I can't keep investigating someone I'm involved with. That I need to... My voice cracks. I need to recuse myself from the case. His hand tightens on mine. That's career suicide. I know. Richard will ask why. You'll have to tell him. I know. Your reputation, I know. The words burst out. I know it's stupid. I know it's throwing away everything I've worked for, but I can't. Tears prick my eyes. I can't be the person who puts you in prison, Theron. I can't. He's around the table in seconds, pulling me to my feet, wrapping his arms around me. Breathe, he murmurs into my hair. Just breathe. This is insane. I sob into his chest. I've known you for 3 weeks. Technically 6 months. That's not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. He pulls back enough to cup my face. I'm trying to tell you that I know this is fast. I know it's complicated, but I also know that I've spent my entire life making calculated decisions, and this? He brushes away my tears with his thumbs. This is the first time I've ever felt like I'm making the right choice. What choice? You. Choosing you. Every time. The door opens. Our server is back with plates of food that smell incredible and look like art. I'll come back, the server says, wisely retreating. Theron doesn't let me go. I have a solution. What solution? Quit. I blink. What? Quit the firm, come work for me. Doing what? Whatever you want. Legal consulting, business development, hell, you can investigate me properly. Internal audit. His eyes are intense. I'll pay you triple what Morrison pays you. You'll have full access to everything, complete transparency. Theron, before you say no, hear me out. He guides me back to my chair, kneeling beside it. You became a lawyer because you wanted to help people, right? Yes, but you've spent 6 months chasing white-collar crimes while the real problems, the trafficking, the exploitation, the violence, those stay hidden because no one wants to look. He takes my hand again. Work with me. Help me do this right. Help me build something that actually makes a difference. It's tempting. God, it's so tempting. And if I can't? I ask quietly. If I look at your organization and find things that cross lines I can't ignore? Then you tell me, and we fix them. His expression is serious. I'm not asking you to compromise your ethics, Mira. I'm asking you to use them. With me. For something real. I look at this man, this complicated, dangerous, infuriating man who somehow makes me feel safer than I've ever felt while simultaneously turning my entire life upside down. I need time to think. How much time? More than tonight. He nods, standing. Fair enough, but while you're thinking, consider this. He leans down, his lips brushing my ear. I'm in love with you. I freeze. I know it's too soon. I know it's insane. But I've never lied to you, and I'm not starting now. He presses a kiss to my temple. Take your time deciding about the job, but know that I'm already decided about you. 1 week later, I walk into Richard Morrison's office with my letter of resignation and a confession that's going to destroy my career. I need to recuse myself from the Kai investigation, I say, placing the letter on his desk, and I'm leaving the firm. Richard looks at the letter, then at me. Why? Because I'm compromised. Explain. I take a deep breath. I've been seeing Theron Kai, personally, for 3 weeks. I should have disclosed it immediately, and I didn't. That's on me, but I can't continue investigating someone I'm involved with. The silence is deafening. You're sleeping with the subject of your investigation, Richard says flatly. Yes. Jesus Christ, Mira. He stands, pacing. Do you have any idea what this means? For you? For the firm? I know. I'm sorry. Sorry? He spins to face me. We're going to have to disclose this. Every piece of evidence you touched is now questionable. 6 months of work, down the drain. And your reputation. I know, I say quietly. That's why I'm leaving. To contain the damage. Contain? You can't contain this. The Bar Association will investigate. You could be disbarred. I know. He stares at me like I'm a stranger. Was it worth it? Was he worth destroying your career? I think about Theron cooking me breakfast, about the way he notices everything, about his hands in my hair and his voice saying, I love you, like it's the simplest truth in the world. Yes, I say. He is. 6 months later. You're doing it wrong. I look up from the contract I'm reviewing to find Theron leaning against the doorframe of my office in his building, in his organization, doing work that actually matters. What am I doing wrong? That clause, third paragraph. You're being too nice. I look back at the contract. It's an agreement with a vendor for one of his restaurants. I'm being fair. Fair is nice. We don't do nice. He crosses to my desk, leaning down to point at the screen. Add a penalty clause for late delivery and an audit provision. That's aggressive. That's business. He kisses my neck. You'll learn. In the past 6 months, I've learned a lot. I've learned that Theron's organization is exactly what he claimed, operating in gray areas but with a code. I've learned that my legal expertise is actually useful in making sure those gray areas don't slide into black. I've learned that I'm good at this work, really good. And I've learned that loving Theron Kai is the most complicated, infuriating, wonderful thing I've ever done. Your mother called, I tell him. Sunday dinner. She wants me to bring dessert. Tell her you're not doing that again after the lemon cake incident. That was one time, and it wasn't my fault the oven was broken. She still brings it up. I turn in my chair, pulling him down by his tie. Maybe I'll just bring wine. Safer choice. He kisses me, soft and familiar. I love you. I love you too. My phone buzzes. A text from Cassie. Did you see the news? Morrison and Hale just settled with the feds. Kai case dismissed for lack of evidence. I show Theron the text. Told you they had nothing. He murmurs against my lips. You're insufferable. You love it. Unfortunately, he's right. Richard was wrong about one thing. My career isn't over. It's just different now. I still practice law, just not in a courtroom. I still fight for what's right, just in ways that don't fit in a legal brief. And every night I go home to a man who knows every terrible thing about me and loves me anyway. Who challenges me, who protects me, who makes me breakfast and helps me with cases and occasionally drives me crazy with his overprotective tendencies. Is it complicated? Yes. Is it messy? Absolutely. Is it perfect? Not even close. But it's mine. We're mine. And I wouldn't change a single thing.